Good day, everyone. This is Diasetro, the most handsome, yakable African nations, adorably pumping a physical husband. And as usual, I'm usually with my most pepperoni, strigalicious, hot baby. I'm saying it in slow motion because I'm giving what we call emphatic love stress. Okay, to be more serious, this is Diasetro, the most handsome, yakable African nations, adorably pumping a physical husband. And I have beside me this my most loving baby girl.
Okay, good day, everyone. You're highly welcome to the live stream today. It's a pleasure having you around today, and we want to say thank you to all that have been part of our tribe, our community, helping us to help the African youth. And I think that's a great thing. What we're even learning from Vusi Thembekwayo today. So it's a great one. So you're highly welcome to
Mm.
the live stream today.
We are looking at the topic that this our amiable, loving brother, Vusi
Sounds,
Thembekwayo,
sounds
has been talking so much about extensively, and we decided to do a little bit of research into the meaning of the word Fargin. Fargin is spelled as Fargin,
say what is a Jewish word.
and this is what is a Jewish word
A whitish.
or a Welsh word, whatever word they call it. But it's talking about something that has to do with detoxifying yourself from the selfishness inherent in man. Because according to economics theory postulated by Orikpekpe Demoy, one of the outstanding economists in the world, defined human being as highly
Adam
selfish.
Smith from
He
the womb.
stated the fact that every human being will always love to pursue their selfish interests, but unknown to them that in the process of pursuing their selfish interest, they are actually going to end up with the common good. Do you believe or do you agree to that? But let me tell you, with what we currently have on ground in this present world, I'm sure if Adam Smith have lived so long to witness this our present world, he would have said, wow, I need to adjust my definition because some human beings are now overly selfish and self-centered. That's what I call sentimental. But when we talk of farging, we are talking about the ability to have the mindset of communal benefits. But before I delve more into this, I would just want you to watch some videos, then we take it over from there. But I guess you have some things to chip in.
Fagging is just the ability to have the mind that you will never begrudge the success of others. It's a waddish word, just like we heard. There is this German word that is its opposite. I don't know how to pronounce it. Look at as in that German word actually means the pressure derived from someone else's misfortune. So the Jewish was like, how will someone on earth look for a word like this if this is not what you're practicing, as in the pleasure you derive from someone's health misfortune. That means it's a relative word. You're always saying people's happiness is a relative term, is dependent on others. You're comparing yourself, but when you're talking about fagging, you're seeing yourself as in you are in a world of your own, and it's all the situations that are around you. We are all different players in a different world, but it's our own realities that we are facing. So you don't begrudge others' success. When you see somebody succeed, even though you've not succeeded to that extent, you rejoice and you help that. So it's a process of grace, as in just showing love to others in the community. Is a communal relationship word, and that's what Vusi Thembekwayo has been advocating.
Okay, without talking too much, I want us to listen to Vusi Thembekwayo, and from there, we'll take it from there. Okay, happy listening.
Sure. But that's because the 15 years ago was the first time I traveled to China. You cannot compare the automotive prowess of China then to today. Sure. But that's because the Chinese government backed Chinese founders, building companies in the automotive sector, as they have done in technology with Huawei and several others. And so we think the reason you're using a Xiaomi or a Huawei is just because the Chinese are amazing. No, because they practice Fargin. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be teachable and take constructive criticism. So they don't destroy. When you take initiative, they don't destroy. They do not destroy. Beautiful word. Here's what it means. It means that if we are in a community and you're doing something, even if somebody outside the community can do it better, cheaper, and faster, we buy from you. And when you get it wrong, we come to you. This wrong, fix it. Then we buy again. It's called Fargin. Go and look it up.
Sorry about that. When we talk about fagging, we can actually pinpoint about two or more countries to have played with this theory of fagging and have used it to employ their citizens, to empower their citizens, to move their community forward. And the first country that will ever come to your mind about community practicing fagging is China. The people of China have done a whole lot to ensure that their people, despite the fact that they might not have the original knowledge about the creation of or creation or production of certain elements that is being certain products that are being marketed all over the world now, the government gave them the opportunity to what, to have the idea in their mind and now support that idea little by little so that they can improve. And if you begin to look at numerous products that are coming out from China, you will discover that a whole lot has happened. When they started, majority of the countries today that are seeing China as a threat, they were busy laughing at the people that are practicing fagging. How do I mean about that? Remember the first phone, set of Android phone coming from China. Remember the sound, how awkward it was. Remember the look and feel. Remember the fact that on a single phone, you can have up to 4 to 6 different card slots. And when any of those phone rings, how appalling it was. But today, when you mention Huawei, you can't forget about how quality, how good the product of Huawei is. When you mention automobile, also you see the people of China, they've advanced so much that there is hardly any product you will mention in the world that cannot be traced over to them. What they were simply practicing is what? Community development. And that is why they were often seen as what? People that are practicing communists, communism, communists. Now, practicing fagging is not just limited to the people of China. The Jewish people also have this as a mode of life in which they see communal living as a means or a tool to economic development. Why are we bringing up this discussion today? We are actually bringing up this discussion because Africa does not always need to make mistake before they can learn. They can learn from the mistake and the successes of other people, other continents, other race. And that is why we need to sit down as African and begin to ask ourselves, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to do right? If we imbibe the principle called fagging, or the lifestyle called fagging, or the economic theory called fagging, depending on how you are looking at it, will it take Africa to El Dorado? I tell you, instead of each and every individual in Africa pursuing their own selfish interest and always antagonizing each other, always looking at each
Riding
other,
from
always looking at each family members that have been cut into fragments in the name of different states, instead of Africa to be called the United States of Africa. Instead of seeing each country as competitors, as rival, we just need to pay attention to our communal development, and instead of dropping, majority of what happens in Africa is that we dump our own products. We always make mention and references to already advanced products from so many other regions of the world, whereas we are killing our local farmers, we are killing our local engineers, we are killing our local production factories. No economy can develop if that is what we are practicing. So what do you have to say to that?
I think, on this channel, we don't really advocate just talking. We believe in being practical and doing what we're saying. So far, we cannot really reach out to those in government now. Maybe one day somebody will come across this and reach out to them. I think we could just start practicing Fargin
Yeah.
from our families and from our neighborhood and from the next person close to you. So now, as an African, when you see someone, maybe you have a function and you want to do something. So don't look out for things out coming from other continents of the world. Look out for those that are doing these things locally from your tribe, your community. What makes a tribe? What makes a community? A tribe is people with the same culture, people with the same belief, people with the same character. You do things the same way. So you're from the same place, you are a community, you are a tribe. So if you want to grow that tribe, all you do is to encourage the upcoming artists, the upcoming artisans, the upcoming all those that are into one craft or the other there. So when you have something to do, you just maybe you have a catering event. You don't go and look for the best caterer from Dubai. You call that person. All that Fargin needs is uh, people that are teachable. Do you understand? That's how Fargin will thrive. And that's another thing we as Africans need to invite
Yeah.
because we really feel we are there. There is a currency that actually buys money, and that currency that buys money is what.
Teachability.
Yes, it's meekness, as in, if you can be teachable, you will always have it because people can relate with you. They can relate to what you're doing. They can tell you this is wrong. Just like Visu said that this is wrong. We want you to correct it. You correct it and you move forward. So I think that is just what we should look into now. And we that were trying to train youths all around, there is nothing good if youths are not brought up the right way, their character formation. That is the real challenge we're having in Africa, whereby our own rulers can be selling us to the West because their character formation was not built on integrity. They don't have us at heart. They don't have those they are ruling at heart. So that's why somebody will come and say, Mr. Sexual, I'm just going to give you $10 billion. So all these other raw materials, I'll be taking them. And you, but some persons will exert their lives. They say, no, even though you're going to give me trillions of dollars,
This belongs to my community.
Yes. And it all starts from the culture. It all starts from the training. It all starts from what we are built up. And that's what we at the Sexual Foundation we're doing. We are building a community of youths that are balanced in productivity and character formation, because we've seen that if you're highly productive and your character formation is bad, Africa will still be bad. That's we'll still keep on talking about Kagame. That's why they are naming him a dictator, because he's not going to allow them come and dictate over his people. He's going to say, you can't dictate to us what we're going to be doing here. They've seen what they suffered during the genocide, and there was nobody looking out after them. So they are taking their lives into their hands, and trying to build something that works. At least they're the cleanest in Africa. That's a kudos to them. So every other thing is still going to work, and it's all dependent on our ability to practice this Fargin, giving all that we have to do to those in our community. If you listen to Vusi Thembekwayo's podcast, he said there was a South African that had a function or so. If it were to go by maybe the person's status, it would have called all these
The best
artists,
of comedians.
comedians from other places, but everything that was used for that event was sourced within that community. The caterers, the comedians, the event planners, everything, photographers, everything from that community. And that's Fargin. So if they could do it somewhere South Africa, we can do it in Nigeria. And I think this idea of pulling down another to rise up, like that's what social media is all about these days right now. If a comedian wants to rise, you start attacking another word, so you get 10,000, 1 million followers. It's not going to last. It's all about telling us who you are. It's all showing who you are, what you're doing, what you're made of, the stuff you're made of, and that's just it. I think there are lots more to this.
Yep.
Yes, you're most welcome. So
Welcome.
if we can just lift up each other in this communal spirit, this our culture, and we don't lose it, we're really going to go places. Africa is
That's
going
what
to
I'm
go
doing
places.
there.
Yes, thanks. You're welcome, sir.
Hello, everybody. Hello, family.
Yes, hi. Still on the time.
So we are actually talking about Fargin, in which you are placing the community at heart. You are trying to encourage those that are growing, that have growing ideas, that have initiative to grow in their initiative. You are trying to support them, to give them a platform that will enable them
To rise.
get advance in whatever area they are going into. And for example, there is a comedian I know in Nigeria that has been doing that consistently. He has used his platform to grow other comedians. He has used his platform to grow other comedians. That's AY show.
Sounds
This guy
this
has done this principle over and over. There are so many comedians that are known today, renowned comedians from Nigeria that are going across the globe. They usually refer to him as one of the things that brought them up. I also have one of the late
musician.
Sound Sultan. Late Sound Sultan was actually part of those that created space for people like Whiskey and the likes, and so many
to
of them. It
rise.
was so
Many
accommodating
upcoming
and the likes.
musicians.
So, and funny enough, I also have a particular school owner. The name of that school is It's Kiske. One of these days, we are going to do something about that particular school. She practiced Fargin 100%.
Unknown to her.
Yes, what she
Okay,
does.
let me explain.
Okay.
Okay, what she does is that all the parents of our pupils, she was going to find out what's their occupation, those that are into catering, those that are into fashion, those that are into photography, those that are into event management, whatever they are into. So whenever she has an event, an outdoor event, that she's going to give those jobs opportunity to those parents of our pupils. She said by doing this, she's empowering them so that they can pay the children's school fees and the school can move forward. And she's really growing. She has passion for those children, the school, the parents, and she's really moving forward. Unknown to her that's just what she's practicing. But whereas we have other schools, these are the big brands, these are the big schools. They will have parents of the students and the pupils from their school that they'll go out of that community. They're not going to patronize them. So in the end, you see those parents not being able to meet up with other, and just like that.
Okay, so Dr. Ojo, you have the floor now.
Yes, thank you so much. So you want me to
Have you heard of the principle, the theory called Fargin, or the word Fargin?
Yeah, it's not really a popular word, and but searching for it and through it and doing some little research on it shows that it's kind of a business strategy as well
Okay.
that you can use to uplift one business or the other, and it can be applied to numerous sectors as well, just like you guys have said.
Okay. Well, okay. And Jim Barak and
Is Jim
Nubin,
there now?
which are
Okay.
so Jim, what
What is
what's your
Fargin to
contribution
you?
on this topic, Fargin?
Can you spell it again?
Fargin.
Fargin. It's a Yiddish word. It's a Jewish word.
It's a Jewish word.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what was in the title. The difference between how help is in other words, what you've learned from the Jewish culture. This is something you learned from it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
can you explain to me what the Jewish culture says about this practice?
Okay. Is a form of practice in which, okay, let me leave my wife to explain that.
Okay. To the Jews, for you to practice Fargin, it means you don't begrudge the success of others. If your neighbor is succeeding and you've not succeeded, you are to be happy for his or her success. Because by being happy for that neighbor's success, simultaneously, you wouldn't know when your own success will come. And if you're doing business with your neighbor, you should have the mind that it's a win-win situation. You want your neighbor to win, and you also want to win. So you not be asking for exorbitant discounts or what to make that person to be out of business. Do you understand? So according to
Yes.
that Jewish culture, that is the meaning of fagging. To
Okay.
fagging.
Okay. Just hold on a second, Jim. Madam Nubimi.
Yes, I love this.
Okay.
So I thought it was like it looked when I was reading, I said foreign, foreign. I was like, okay, foreign. I thought you guys are speaking, putting your like Nigerian accent in it, you know? But it seems like economic development, kind of like an internship in a way, or not internship, but like yes, like one hand washes another. I couldn't quite get it, but
That's the
kind of
word.
like exchanging. It's kind of interning too. Kind of we have it here in this way where we're exchanging human resources for like scholarship or other things. I know my mom used to in Haiti pay for a lot of children's schools in the community that she lived in, and like the doctor said, it kind of really does help. Or I think one of y'all mentioned it helps with the woman who does it that y'all mentioned. It helps the community after all. So it seems like cooperative economics, but mostly in the community, right?
Very
Does
well.
that sound like socialism a little bit though?
It
What's
sounds
socialism? No isms. It's just our programming. Isms.
it's not socialism, but the concept is socially inclined.
It's all
It's
about the
socially
fact that you are you are of value because of the value you bring to the community.
okay.
Do you understand?
I understand that part, but what I'm saying, let's say people want to be individual in your society. In other words, let's say yes, you build upon the back of somebody's work, and then it brings up the rest of the community. I understand that. What I'm saying is, what if people in your communities decide they don't want to be a part of that? Is there any rejection, or is it
No, no, no,
just
no, no,
fine?
no, no.
Right.
It's not. There is no
Okay.
rejection. But the principle is just saying that it is far more better when you, as an individual, you decide, you have the mindset of helping others to
To
grow
rise.
in their sphere of influence, even when they are not yet
That's
at the
perfect.
perfection level.
Jim, it's simply what Citrus Foundation is doing. So you're picking up youngsters, just like you watch those display on our other challenge. That's Fargin. That's thing we
Okay,
did.
let me
It's Fargin.
let me do this to emphasize that. in 2019,
2019.
2019, the Cetros family, even then, we have not opened this channel. We don't
We've not
even,
started
we've not
foundation.
started a foundation, but because of our level of exposure and by our training, we just have the mindset that, okay, we
Young
need, there are
entrepreneurs
young entrepreneurs
in
that
fashion and food industry that
that
we need.
needs platform for them to rise. They need support, they need push from people like us that maybe because of privilege at that time were able to
We need
access
some
something.
person.
So what we did was to use the little resources we have to create that platform for them to rise. And okay, let me just be playing the silent video by the side. So what we did was to create a food and fashion show. What we just did was to create a food and fashion show
How
in which
nice.
we
This
brought
guy.
we brought
Wow.
different youths that are into fashion with their designs. All these youths, they created their designs themselves. They are used from our community. I think we had over
For
300
300
designers and food.
food.
Wow, look at the quality in this. Look at the
So
creativity. This is phenomenal, fams.
so they came over to showcase their talent. We got prizes for
Like this
them
girl you're
and
seeing
like
now, like this lady you're seeing now, she's Mena's apparel. So she came there, she displayed her wear. Now she sends her wares outside the country. She's selling, she's doing well. Most of them in the food industry. Like Jim, you met Munach. That was the first
We
time she
do
came to
this.
our studio.
We
Uh,
do this in the States. I think we call it a different name, but it's a showcase, it's a conference,
okay.
it's a collaboration, it's a networking. And sometimes
okay.
we ask our business people to donate prizes and money and stuff like that. So this is phenomenal, family. This is really
So,
Okay,
hello.
okay, we can hear
So, like I said earlier, right? It could be regarded as a business strategist, right? Uh, the Jewish, we know they are very successful people. They are part of the human race that can never be eliminated because they've gone through a lot of challenges and a lot of difficulty, and a lot of people have tried to erase them from the surface of the earth on several occasions, and were not successful for a majority of reasons. So there are some principles that they practice that are universally
indigenous. Mm-hmm.
intelligent
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't and always prove to be true. Like they hardly can fail with those strategies and those principles that they will practice, which accounts for the reason why a lot of them are very rich and very wealthy. In fact, about 40% or more of the richest people in America are Jewish. They have Jewish background of one sort of the other. So now, if we dig through into it, right, from my findings, it's that word Fargin simply means deriving or finding joy in the success of others. And
Yes.
if we relate that, right, to the universe, the way the universe work, we've talked about it a long time ago in one of the show. The universe is a living being and is highly spiritual, and it works and operates based on principles and formulas, right, and spiritual laws. So whether consciously or unconsciously, every time we obey those laws, we enjoy certain benefits, right? So this Fargin, right, is also one of those principles, right? Because every time you are happy about another person's success, you have the higher probability of attracting that success. It's just magical, right? And the opposite is also the same too. And that's why you see that people that get jealous and envy others always struggle a lot and always have all kind of sickness and diseases and stuff like that, right? Because they just attract whatever we dwell always expand, always grow, right? So if you are happy and you find joy and you celebrate someone that is successful, that's always going to grow, and it's going to be your own story eventually, because you're just going to attract it. You're just going to expand more, right? So it's nothing magical, but it's just some in-depth understanding of how the universe works. That's that principle of Fargin. That's what I can say to it. And it's also like a business principle, because all this principle of networking and all those kind of stuff they are real. They are real. It all depends on how people uses them, right? They are like tools. They are like strategies. You could use it for both the positive and the negative, but they are derived from all these fundamental principle, right? Of lifting one person up, and other people lift you up, and then they also are lifted up in turns as time goes, right? And it has some religious basis as well, right? Those that believe in the Bible can also say that. Even Jesus Christ also said that if he be lifted up, he's going to draw a lot of people to himself. You
Yes.
could interpret it people can interpret it in a lot of ways and different ways, right? But it means what it means. You lift him up, he's going to draw a lot of people to himself, and we saw that happen a lot in his time, and even after he's gone for many years. And a lot of other religious leaders too can testify to that as well. In the military, we believe more on the battle body, team, right? Group, you know what I'm saying? Squad and all those kind of stuff, right? Because
Lifting each other up in the scripture.
yeah, you know really much that individually we can do so much, right? But as a group, when we lift each other up, when we encourage each other, when we work as a team, as a group for the benefit of each other's success, right? It's go really fast. You can go really, really fast. You can grow really,
Can
really
can I
fast.
can I ask
Go
you a
ahead.
question, Dr. Ojo? Dr.
Yes, go
Ojo,
ahead.
much respect to you. Thank you for coming on today, and always the highest respect to you and your knowledge. You're
Much
absolutely
appreciated. I appreciate that.
you,
Thank you.
absolutely you push the boundaries sometimes with me. And one of the questions I have is about nepotism. And some of these, I'm not saying religions in a per se format. What I'm asking is they stick really tight together. And the old adage is that some religions believe that they can use a thing called usury and have other people use the system of usury. Do you think nepotism and usury go together? Yeah, and the reason why today the interest, the title was something with the Jewish thing, and so I'm just wondering if you think usury is something combined with nepotism.
Usury is. I'm gonna say that. I'm sorry to interrupt. But I think what he's
Well,
mentioning.
wait, I was asking him.
No, but I'm saying I understood what he was saying with the universal law of it. Now the usury thing, you're getting into some things that it's not even supposed to be. Usury is not even supposed to be part of the scriptures. That's a man-made thing, and that's a definitely a perversion and taking advantage, both of that nepotism and usury. So that's not even scriptural or even supposed to be religious, but people still use that in the man-made structures.
So when you talk about usury, right, it comes down to like kind of exploitation, like taking advantage of order in certain way. It's more is one of the systems that's being practiced now in this age, which is one of the reasons why we are probably having a lot of issues, right? Because a lot of people now are becoming more selfish and just looking at themselves, their family, and something they can benefit from whatever they have, right? So the term itself, like scripturally, it's not encouraged because of what it stands for, right? But when you look at the entire concept from the business standpoint, then that's where the argument become a little bit technical. That's when the argument become a little bit technical, because from business standpoint, the purpose of a business is to make profit, right? And in this age of intelligence, right, the more profit you make is based on how much value you can bring to the table. And when we talk about value, we are talking about a lot of tangible intelligence, knowledge,
Okay,
right?
good. Okay,
So
yes.
now those cannot be quantified. Whereas I can, I can like design a building and bill you and charge you based on that building, like, oh, it's a 2-story building or it's a skyscraper, right? I can charge you, right? And you can quantify that, right? But the knowledge behind it and the creativity I can bring into that design could make a difference from another person's design. And that creativity and those intangible experience and knowledge that I'm adding to it cannot be quantified. So I can decide, okay, this is the job, 10,000, right? Dollars, right? But I'm charging you $100,000 because, I mean, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to add to it. Like, I'm going to do a lot of other stuff to it that other people might not know, that they might not know. But after I've done it, it becomes simple, it becomes easy, and a lot of people can now do it again. But before, nobody had that idea. It wasn't coming to their mind yet. You see what I'm saying? So if I charge as much as I want, then you cannot really say I'm taking advantage of you because you didn't have that knowledge before. And I didn't just get it like that. Maybe it took me whatever it took me to get that level of intelligence, right? So that's
Right.
one. Now, when you come to lending money, uh, those that have the money, that is why we have to be very intelligent and we have to teach this intelligence about
I'm
money
hoping
to our
I'm
family and
hoping
our children.
I'm
You
hoping you're
see?
going to touch on nepotism about this
Yes,
aspect
I will.
because okay.
I will. In the sense that the rich has only become rich because they understand some principles. They understand some concepts. They understand how the universe works, right? And they always retain that level of wealth because they always use it as a tool, right? And to those other people who doesn't care or who just want it now, they always have to pay for it, right? So that's when it become a little bit tricky in the sense that you have the cash, right? And cash is king. And the other person, just like, we heard about the what was told about Esau and Jacob, right? He won it now, and the other person could see further into the future. So he bought his future from him. So it's the same thing that is happening now. So some people work so hard and so smart and have it, the money, the wealth, and they lend it to you at whatever rate they want. So if there's no any check, any rules and regulation, any government policy to put them in check, then they can collect as much as 100% return rate and stuff like that. You can't really blame them because
What,
you could have
what,
done the same thing.
well, I
But
have to push back on that. I have to push back on that. You when you say you really can't blame them. What I see is a long line of history that shows that usury leads to family generational wealth, and that these same colleges that promote Harvard, they all end up in political positions. You've got several presidents have been to Yale, and we all know what Yale has there. Um, what I'm saying is there's a family lineage that you could almost even
yes, I agree with you. And that's why the Jewish, they are hard to eliminate
right, right.
because
They
of
are
their
big.
principle. The
That's right.
principle.
So are they is it beyond their are they almost intellectually segregating themselves away from certain parts of society by actually being in a position where they uh, they're actually control a lot more of what we actually use as commerce, so if that's my you know what I'm trying to
So,
say.
they've gone through a lot, right? Their population is not as much, but the wealth they have is so great and it's strategic. You see what I'm saying? Some people
Yeah.
have said that it's God's given intelligence and stuff like that. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, everybody can get to that level. it all depends on individual.
And
See
I
what I'm saying?
also, and if I
So
can,
we can't really argue against that. I don't think there's anything wrong with. If you look at nepotism that you said, right?
So
Which is
you would believe in the scriptures saying that they are the chosen ones then?
So
no, I
so
don't.
so when you talk about the chosen one, right? When you talk about the chosen one, I am the chosen one. I don't know about you.
Okay, that's my approach too.
It's a
But why would
mindset.
it? Why
It
would
is a
why would the Bible
mindset
say it?
thing. Let me tell you, this is it, right? It is a mindset thing. It is a mindset thing. Because even the same Bible they were talking about, I said the Jewish are the chosen one, right? He also, in that same Bible, also got to a point that he gave the privilege to the Gentile, the one they call the Gentiles, right? Gave them the privilege for them too, and also accepted them as the chosen one too at some point. Even when Christ was on earth too, he got
Can
to
we
a
say
point
the
that he
children of
condemned them. He
Israel? Can we
condemned them
correct
for
with the
discriminating.
children of Israel? The Jews are just one of the tribes. He said the children of Israel, they are the light. Just for correctional sake, so that we know that this tribe of Israel is just not a monolith. And even though what we call quote unquote Jews currently, they're still not a monolith, but they still can work amongst, whether it's the Orthodox, ultra Orthodox, Hasidic, secular, whatever. We still,
Yeah,
they
but in America it's called Judeo-Christian, right? And
yeah, but
so
these are all these labels that we're trying to get out of, and we're not putting in. We're just at this point with this conversation, we're looking at the models and the good part of the models based off of the universal, the Noah, the universal way of doing things, the way that the teacher, Yeshua, and they don't accept that. We are, a lot of us go in those teachings and follow those teachings. But I think Dr. Ojo, I think getting into the whole political, social, the Jews, they are, that's just too, that's too, no, that's too, first of
I'm
all,
going too deep.
biased. That's too biased and that's too myopic. And that's not where we're at. We're looking at the whole thing, the good, the bad. We're looking at the good things. You know what I'm saying? And the bad is good to know, but there's even nepotism in New Mexico and all kind of other places and all kind of regions and all kind of areas and all kind of different spectrums. There's nepotism in Hollywood. So
but that
So
seriously, you can say that
let's
all you
come to
want, but
let's come to it though. Let's look at it, right? Because when we look at the definition, the dictionary definition of nepotism, right? It said the practice among those with power or influence of favoring their relative, friends, and associates, especially by giving them jobs and whatever they want, right? So it depends on how we look at it. Because everybody, we can say everybody's guilty as that. Is there anybody, even the poor and the rich, who will not favor their friend, their family, their relative when they have influence and power? I don't see
uh,
of anybody that will not do that.
but that's not the question. The question is, do they use it to retain power?
Okay,
Of course they do.
let me come
Of
in
course
here.
they do.
Okay, let me come in here so that we stick
everybody in every
so that we stick to the topic, so that we don't branch
everybody.
out of the topic. Let's bring this question back into what we are looking at today. We are looking at the Jewish world, that is also used by the Chinese as a model, Fargin. And in Fargin, you are saying you are having the community at heart. It's not talking about your family, your immediate family, your nuclear family. It's talking about the community. It's talking about people that are occupying space. When we say community now, they might just be people that are occupying the territory in which you are doing your business or you are living. And when you recognize progress in any of them, the mindset you should have is supposed to be positive inclined, in which you will do your best to support what they are doing to get the best out of their efforts. It's going to be a process. And also, the principle is also cautioning us that we should not be carried away, totally carried away with, oh, community, that even as you are growing with community mindset, you need to recognize the fact that you yourself, you need to be at a particular level for you to be able to positively impact your community.
Be
So
selfish
that is
first.
why at the first point, there is this level of selfishness that is inherent in man, because you need to be able to you
Build
need
yourself.
to have economic empowerment yourself before you can now put back to this community. Now look at me, this program that we are talking about here, this program was done while I just retired from the banking sector. Then I had some cash with me. I
Some
was
investments.
economically empowered to help those that are below my status then. So it's just a common goal. But
And
if
all these persons,
if
you don't know them from
if at the
Adam.
yeah and if it is just at the beginning of my life, instead of developing myself, maybe saving towards the purchase of all the machines I have in the fashion industry, maybe I didn't save towards that, I didn't plan my life very well. I just say, oh, I want to practice Fargin, I want to help people in the community. As I collect my salary, I just spread my salary to the people in the community. What you discover is that what you are going to have is a colossal error. You will not be able to achieve that drive. You will not be able to sustain that drive. And as such, every individual, irrespective of the question of Jim, when you said when you said what's it called, you use a particular word now. Your second word, Jim, nepo,
Nepotism.
Nepotism.
nepotism. So nepotism and the likes and all those ones will not come to play under Fargin, in the sense that you are not about yourself, you are not about your race, you are not about your family ties, you are about the people around you, the community. And most of the time, we human beings, we do not exist, we do not live our life around our immediate or extended family. We have different people within our neighborhood. Some of them are even foreigners that are not, but they are in that neighborhood. And you see them often than how you see even your family members. So in such practice, it gives you this clarity of mindset that when I recognize the good effort in anybody around me, the best I can do is to help bring up that effort. Or if I do not have anything to contribute, I should just keep quiet and leave them, let them be on their own. So the principle of Fargin is what is needed in Africa for Africa to grow. And as such, we need to reawaken. Funny enough, this Fargin we are talking about, that is of the Jewish link and Chinese link, this has been a principle that has grown, is an homegrown culture, is a culture in Africa. Because in Africa, they usually speak this language that èèyàn kan ló bí ọmọ, ẹgbẹẹgbẹ̀rún ló máa ń bá tọ́. The meaning of that is that what? Only one person gives birth to a child, but it is thousands of people that helps to train that child. What happens in Africa, the way we have been practicing this Fargin, is that when you give birth to a child that is brilliant in the community will gather money together to sponsor the most brilliant child in the community to school. Then with a mindset that they've recognized that, oh,
Yeah.
there is a brilliant level in this child, and if we help to push, because most of the time the brilliant children, funny enough, most of the time they come from the poor homes.
Yeah,
So
and this is
the
interesting
community will
because
come together to sponsor them. You said what?
what's interesting. I thought that religions were supposed to be bringing up the poor, and these are churches that have been around for thousands of years.
See,
Jim,
see.
you're
So
talking.
naive,
Don't put
Jim.
us away from our
Wait,
family.
hold on. Wait. It's good to be factual. It's good to be. I understand what Jim is trying to say.
I
We
went to
can't
sue
we
you.
can't we can't talk about the Jew without talking about religion. It's hard. because most of their practices and principle is religious backup. It has foundation and basis on religion.
And there's many different types of them, just
when
like
we talk about the Jew and Fargin, they practice that principle, but it is not in the absence of those other concepts of usury and nepotism. It's to a certain extent, because the Jewish, even in the Bible time, even in the Christ time when he was here, we know about the story. Even it still exists today. They don't intermingle with a lot of other people up to today. A typical traditional ones.
who owned by the way, they were involved in it, and they were involved
for themselves, by themselves, for their people.
But they were involved in something called a trade, and it was like a human trade, and they owned the boats. And I mean, like, how does this get passed?
You're right.
Let me
right about the history of.
I just don't understand how this gets passed.
Well, so did the Catholic Church. So did the Protestant.
Yes.
And so did
okay. Then fine.
Right.
Okay, I can live with that then. Fine.
But so the what also I want to say in terms of this Fargin or it's even like in the community, we have stakeholders. If you're in an educational community or if you're in a community, they call the people who are in the community or in this thing, we're all stakeholders in this. Even when, there's business associations. So again, like Doctor was saying, there's different models of this, but it's basically the same thing, that we have credit, we have trust amongst each other in the communities. And the communities are usually made up of families and businesses, families with other skill sets. And it is about bigging up and lifting each other up to lift up our environment. So the political, cultural, all have used this sort of technique and have abused it. But I think we're trying to say, how do we do it in this useful way in this global setting that we're at, and we can promote and support all of us for the next generation and be that example, despite the things that we're all going to put through politically, socially, culturally, right now, financially. That this is all that mess that has brought us to this place. So we're not trying to repeat that.
Right. Which is good that we get it right. And that's why I started with the principle that govern the universe. The universe, regardless of political, regardless of people, human race, others, the universe remain the same and constant worldwide and operate by those principles. So one of those principles is that when you find pleasure and joy in the success of others, and you promote and support those success, you are going to attract it. You are going to attract it. It's just a matter of time. You are going to attract it. And other people will also celebrate you. And if you do the otherwise, then you will also enjoy the negative side of it as well. So it's a principle. So those that have that knowledge have practiced it over the ages, and I've had a good testimony about it. And that's why the Jews, they understand that principle. They've done it.
They do. You're saying the Jews understand that principle.
They do understand that principle.
Okay.
The rich on the wealthy people understand that principle.
And so do Muslims.
The Muslim understand that. So the Muslim understand that principle too. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? For example, now, right? When look at those most of the Arabic and the Islamic nation, how wealthy they are. It's not by accident, and they've been able to sustain it over years. Most of those countries have never been conquered before.
Oh no, only Ethiopia has not been conquered. And there's only two states in Africa that have never been conquered. One of them is Ethiopia. It's never been conquered. So what's the other one?
Okay, let me quickly correct something. This topic,
the Arabic states.
Today's topic, don't let us misconstrue it. It's not just about
Jews. The Chinese.
The Chinese are.
That's what I was going to say. How does it compare?
The Chinese are practicing Fargin. The Jewish people are practicing Fargin. So many other cultures, so many other religions are also practicing Fargin. You understand? So with that in mind now, I want to cite an example. Like, for example, when we're hosting this show, one of the principles of Fargin that was adopted unknowingly to us then was that we
Everything.
had professional models approaching. They approached us because when we announced this on the radio and on TV, they approached us that they would like to come over to showcase their what have you. But we looked at it that why should we get professional models to display the fabrics, the designs of these youth that are just coming up? Why not let us get youth from the same community that are trying to become a model, that are training as model? Now, if you spend your if you carefully watch this runway, you will discover that a whole lot of them, they were not modeling as in catwalking, right? It's just some of them that tried. But what Fagin says, the principle of Fagin is that even when you know that
They are not the
they
best.
are not the best at what they are
Once
doing,
they are teachable,
but so far they are
they
teachable,
point out
what
their
you need to
weakness.
do is what you need to do is to give them the platform, patronize them. When you patronize them, you now call them, you say XYZ need to be adjusted, XYZ needs to be altered, and
Yeah,
with that you are
Patronize them
encouraging
again.
them and you
yeah.
are correcting them because they are teachable. Their next production, their next output will be better. Now let me tell you.
That's the key. Good job, Deo. I love that approach because you are setting the spark off at the grassroots level.
And
Thank you so very much.
it is beautiful. And I just want to say, I know that you got some deep thing to say. I just want to remind ones, even His Majesty, since the brethren brought up Ethiopia, His Majesty did a lot of that, supporting people, whether they're a filmmaker or artist or whatever. He would patronize them and help them to. That's why all these youth went to from Ethiopia, and then they turned back and became socialists. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject.
Mm.
But the
I,
but
I
yeah, I love what you're doing, and the Sikhs. I wanted to also remind people, the Sikhs in our community. We have Sikhs all over the world. They practice that, but they also practice feeding the communities too. Like, I know we have a big Sikh community in Northern California, and they provide food to people who need it every day in their community, while at the same time supporting their loved ones, businesses, organizations, all that. So thank you. Sorry, Deo. Thank you. But it's
so
a
Thank you,
so
Madam Claudia.
Thank
for
you so
example,
much.
I also practice that concept and principle. I knew it
Correct.
for a long time from growing up, and I've also always practiced it. Um, so,
Yes,
like
ma'am.
for example,
Just need to answer now.
from when I was in Nigeria, right, which I still do up to today, and which is one of the reasons why we are even connected, why I got connected to the
Yes,
central in
Yes.
the
yes,
first place.
yes.
I personally took it upon myself, and I'm like, I'm gonna promote this African youth. I don't know if anybody had that concept or idea or whatever, but I said I'm gonna. It's a personal decision, and I started doing it. So even before I met the Centro, it used to be my sister that will help me get the fashion designers and stuff like that. I'll be the one to do the design, just blend one design or the other together to make it a design of what I want for them to do the sewing and all of those and send it to me. You
Come on,
know,
Dr.
not
Ojo.
not just for it. Do you know that even as I speak now, there are a lot of products, there are a lot of designs and clothes and stuff like that I still have in my house, and I'm like, okay, sometimes I just use them and give to people as gifts,
Hmm.
which most of the people that I bought those things from, they thought maybe I'm making some money out of it or stuff like that. But most of the time, when I patronize them and buy some of those for them from them, I even sometimes when I try to sell them, I don't get sales, or because I don't even have time because I'm always busy, uh, and it's not what I do all the time. So I end up most of the time giving some of those things as gifts. But the joy of it is that those people that are doing that are encouraged.
Exactly.
They are encouraged, and they are through that encouragement, they can also do better and expand their business. And that's how to make the world a better place. Because when we support one
Right.
another, especially when we support and help the one that cannot help themselves, you know, it does something. It does something to the universe.
Yeah, it
It
gives
brings
it a
the
platform. Yeah, a platform.
actualization
Yeah.
of the exact purpose for which this universe was created. You see what I'm saying? It brings the actualization of the exact reason why the universe was created, and the universe blossom. And when the universe blossom, everybody around that area feel happy and enjoy good health, and
It
and
mobilizes.
prosper.
It really mobilizes the energy.
Yeah. So
Like
that's what
Yeah.
that is why we cannot talk about this topic without referring to the Jew, because they are one of the most successful people on earth, even though they have less population and they've gone through a lot of other stuff. African is the next one, in the sense that African has gone through a lot, and Africa is still surviving, and Africa cannot be eradicated or eliminated because of some fundamental principle which the ancestors have practiced, which some people are still practicing now, which we
Uh,
hope that the coming generation will not completely get off of it because of this modern and Western culture that have infiltrated into some of this
okay.
part of the world.
And I'm sure somebody wants to jump in here. Let me just jump in real quick. So, Dr. Ojo, uh, there's certain sectors of Judaism. There's some that believe in Jesus Christ and some that don't. Some of these so-called, people who are of high standard here in America, they own the media. And what I want to know is, in your opinion, do you think that there's a certain sector? I mean, like they're called the Shabbat Lubavitch. Uh, they actually think that a Talmudic belief in Judaism, and in the Talmud they desecrate the word Jesus. I mean, several times. Do you think that there's a separation between some of these, and that the main public is getting it wrong? I see your love for the everybody type of approach. I like
So,
that.
can we make
so
flavor
I've
that the
see
thoughts and
see
opinions of everyone does not belong to the thoughts and opinions
so this is it, right? We always get it wrong, and that's why the world is in chaos. We are all from the same source, regardless. Now, what is different is the level of our the level of intelligence that we have, at the level of our awareness and our mindset, right? Because at some point we're going to get back to the same point as well, where we all came from, because we all came from the same source. All human race came from the same source, regardless of what you believe or not. And whatever has caused division, both political and whatever, along the line, at some point everything's going to reconcile. We're going to get back to the same point again. Whether it's going to be in a million years or whatever, it's going to happen, right? That unification is going to happen, right? Now, when we talk about Jesus Christ and all of those, right? Those some of those are religious, Christian, Muslim, and all of those. Along the line, a lot of things has happened that have misinformed people of what all those means. Everything has been making a mess of, so to say, right? And the reason is that because of the so many people who are just political conscious and power conscious and power driven, who just want to be in charge and in control, and at all costs, they can sell anything, they can use anything, they can manipulate anything. So everything has become like so much of a confusion. All right. So I don't want to go so much into that aspect right now, but I just want it to be that, okay, everybody, our level of mindset and the level of intelligence
Yeah,
we have is what can help us. But the universe remains constant. It
but I
doesn't
just
care.
want,
The universe
but one
doesn't
clear.
care about all those.
Yeah, but clearly you're stating the one of the lowest population people on the planet have the highest intelligence on the planet, and we should be following them.
We shouldn't. We
We
don't have
shouldn't
to.
be.
We don't have
Oh,
to.
okay.
We
Okay,
don't.
that's okay. Okay.
Okay,
It's because we have not
let
getting.
me.
You know the reason why we are following certain people. You know the reason why we are following certain people, because we have not get to a certain level of intelligence. The universe does not care about anybody
Wow.
and whatever anybody. The universe today, if you understand some principle about the universe, you can break loose and be as powerful and as wealthier, even more than these people we are talking
Agree.
about.
Yeah.
It's hello, sir. I think you're very right, Mr. Jim. It's like you're not getting it right. It's not really just a religious thing of the Jews, but look at China also. As in, it's all about what we have here in Africa. Let me say, use Nigeria as a case study. Most of the startups here are not encouraged. I have a very intelligent entrepreneur. She's into air products. If you see what she's doing, you'll be wowed. Our product could compete with international product, but there is what is called NAFDAC. They are going to be requiring her to bring things that are meant for industries that have started. That's what those Chinese governments don't do. When they see that you have an initiative, they are going to empower you, they are going to help you, they are going to patronize you, they are going to give you the platform to go ahead. So that's just why we're having this. Let's begin to help people's initiative grow. If we can do that in our community, we will, if you see that lady's products, it can compete with international products. And we have also, I've told you about someone I know here into different things, also into fashion, that are doing great, but there is no platform. There are no platform for them. So that is what
Okay,
we are all
let me
about.
quickly correct your indictment of NAFDAC. Presently, NAFDAC is trying with respect to this. They brought down the standard, the requirements so much. But what some of these youths, that because this lady she's talking about is a youth, what so many of these youth needs is for people to come around to have a community mindset to assist people like her to get some basic standard requirements for such products. That's minimum. There are certain minimum requirement that NAFDAC of Nigeria wants to make sure that they put in place. But where such youth do not have finance for such minimum requirements, that's where the people like, they don't even need to be this in people like the uncles, the
Yeah.
aunties, the family members, the friend should have this mindset
Instead of
of
Fargin.
farging. They don't even need
Just
to go outside. They don't need to go outside to say, "Oh, I'm calling for help." In short, they should not even come to Cetro. Some of them do not need to say
right.
they are going to Cetro's foundation. Some of them should get this help from the family level, because when someone die in that family, they are going to be so fast in looking for money to contribute to buy the casket and the likes, whereas this is someone that is coming up with productive idea that should be sustained. So it's one of those principles that should be dealt with in Africa,
Africa, precisely.
that we celebrate the dead more than the living, we
Right.
honor the dead more than the
And
living.
we don't even take care of them while they're alive.
And
You
Dr.
understand?
Ocho, and Dr. Ocho,
So
does the BRICS thing affect, is China, with the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, is that going to be something that the U.S. dollar, since you have an understanding of this, is it now becoming more of an advantage if certain countries pull out of the U.S. dollar?
I mean,
um,
it's going to affect the dollar a little bit, but the thing with the dollar is the dollar is a very strong currency.
Okay.
So I always tell people that America is not a country. America is a system. America is a
Okay.
system for those that understand it. So it's okay that other countries or another country are trying to form alliance and
Right.
pull out of the US dollar
okay, Dr. Ojo,
of
Dr. Ojo,
welcome back to the topic. You have answered Jim.
before Jim will take us out of our
Before
fast.
we go from now to
Well,
dollarization and
I love
polarization,
that.
but China's in the BRICS.
Well,
You're talking
question
about
two.
China.
I actually have a
no,
question too.
no
In terms
problem.
of Fogging.
Okay, no be me.
Question, yes.
What's your question?
Big up each other. Now you do know that Quest to Africa, they are in Africa right now, right? They
What's
are
that?
in,
Where?
they're in Africa. They're flying into Tanzania. So you should
Who?
make a connection with them as soon as possible because those book bags, are there any more book bags that maybe they can bring with
Who,
them?
who is in Tanzania though?
The
Okay,
Petros is
I
involved with another
okay,
organization, that collaborative
okay.
organization called Quest to, and he'll explain to you more, I think, Dr. Ojo. But just wanted to let you know that there's some people in Africa, and I want to get some book bags because here's my problem. Every year I get my children book bags and they break apart. I want to get some good Cetros book bags and promote and have
Whoa.
it and just be like, yo, if you want to support the Cetros Foundation, here I got a backpack over here. So I'm just saying if somehow
Great.
you guys can connect with them somehow,
Okay,
I think they're going to be
to
doing a
give.
lot of touring.
Okay, okay,
So
that'll
let's
be
support
fine.
those
And
youth because I remember that book bag. And if there's any more book bags, we need to definitely have some over here to
So
support
you are
them.
talking about the school bag for the kids, right?
Yes.
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 Okay, yeah, I got some then that my friend's daughter is using in California, and it's really good. And I think I'm going to get some more as well for some other relative as well.
Oh,
So that's what we are
oh.
The
talking
lady
about, right?
would be
The lady will be
hello,
so happy.
sir. The lady would be
Yes.
so happy. She reached out to me last week. She was asking me she needs to sell number. She's really she right now we've given her advanced training in fashion because she was like having some downtime with bag manufacturing and the likes because of the low patronage and everything. So she said, okay, when she was watching my fashion channel, she now said she wants to learn fashion. So the foundation, etc., we've given her female fashion, male fashion, and she's now learning full-fledged fashion. Now she's adding to her knowledge, and
So
she still reached out to me last week that she wants to send some bags, this, that. I just told her you're going to be greater than Louis Vuitton. Just don't worry, you're going to make it, and we are so happy for this. We are really, really going to
So
connect,
everything
and
is about timing, right? And the issue that Africa is still having is that the true leader, like those we had in the past, they are not around anymore. And I'm glad that Central Foundation is doing a good job now because what we are doing is just raising a future leader. Hopefully, a lot of these youth will grow up to be a great visionary leaders, right? Because
Dr. Ojo,
this kind of lady that we are talking about shouldn't be having this kind of issue and challenges, right? With
yeah.
the kind of environment that they had there, because there are a lot of millions of students, youth, kids are going to school over there, right? But because of this Fargin that we are talking about, this fundamental principle that people are not paying attention to, everybody is
Mm-hmm.
running for what is right beside them. They are looking for it and running for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for money, but there are little things that you could do that can actually bring you money in the long run. Some of them you might not be right on the spot, but nobody wants to go through that process. That process is a process. The farming we are talking about is a process, because when we say you taking pleasure and joy in the success of others, it's going to bring you joy and success. It's going to bring you success in the long run. It's not going to be like on the spot.
Dr. Ojo,
Is what
Dr.
I'm saying?
Ojo, Dr. Ojo, please hold
Yes.
on. What you have just said now, I want to give an example. Huh? Look at this video. This young boy that is the photographer of this event. This photographer is also a youth. Huh? I can tell you that as we speak, between that event and now, the photography studio of this young boy is fetching him enough, as in he's fetching him enough money.
and as at
He's
then, you never
making,
had him.
as in this
Yep.
boy now is an outstanding photographer in this country as we speak now.
And
As
in
at
Just
then.
demand, and
between
people want to hire him. Yep.
And it was trained by
yes,
Central
they are.
Foundation.
No, 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 no,
It
no.
wasn't.
Oh, okay.
This event was far before we even
Started
started Settle Foundation, before we even started Settle's blog. It was just our own lifestyle of passion. We want to see smiles on the faces of others. So I tell you that this boy, if he has any issue till date, he still calls me. He still called me and all the stuff. But I can tell you that his achievement in photography now, you can't compare him. You can't compare him to thousands. When was thousands, hundreds of thousands of photographers in this country.
It's doing great.
And he's doing great. He's making money. He's really living large at it. So I just want to buttress your point in that you seeing the joy and laughter and smiles in others using this principle of Fargin is something that you will grow into. It's something
Yeah, it is
that
true. I've practiced
will take
it. I've practiced it
some
all the
process.
time.
Yeah.
And
And,
it
and
is what
sometimes you and sometimes you that you are even helping them,
Your success might
your
not
own
be
success
there.
might not, you understand? Your own success
But
might
just
not be
wait.
up to them.
Yes.
I can tell you categorically, I can tell you categorically that even some of these youths that we have helped, some of them are doing far better than us as at now.
And that is a
As at now. But that does not mean that in the nearest future, when the result,
Yep.
you understand? In the nearest future, the future can be next second, next minute, and this thing. That does not mean that in the nearest future, that those that are practicing fagging with all their play mind, that they will not be far above, because it's something I've witnessed before. I was in secondary, after my secondary school, what's it called? Because I was single parent, I had single parent experience and the likes. So after my secondary school, I said, I do not want to go to university to suffer. So I'm not ready to write jams now. I stayed back at home for about 4 years. I was selling a fairly used freezer somewhere in Lagos. But all my classmates in secondary school, that some of them I was even far brilliant than them, they had been in the university. Some of them were even in the University of Lagos. But let me tell you, as many of them that will see this video, they will be nodding their head that what I'm saying is 100%. What happened was that I tried, or what's it called? I will leave my place of work because I was already doing business, but I was saving and planning for my university days. I will go to their school because I know that they are still students. They are not working. I will buy different stuffs. When I get there, some of them I will take them to big time restaurants. I will buy food for them. They were like, how can somebody not have jealousy in his mind like this? And he's coming to even do Big Brother for us at school. As I was doing that, I was telling God, I said, God, you know that me, I don't want to go to school to go and suffer, but I will go to school and come out with the best of grade. And let me tell you, before some of them got jobs, after they graduated before me, before some of them could even get good job, immediately I entered into the university. I finished in good grade, best graduating student. At the end of the day, I got job before so many of them. So the principle of fagging is not just maybe this is what Africans should know. It's not just a principle that, oh, because you are doing fagging, you get your reward tomorrow, you get your reward. No. It might differ. That testing period is building something in you, how not to do this, how to do this best, how to do that best. But the time that everything will culminate, you'll be shocked, because they were so surprised. They were seeing me below them, but before they knew it, I was already there working in the banking sector. And one of them was like, even though those of them that studied banking, they did not do banking. It's me that I did economic statistics education that I'm now in the bank. So that's just the principle of fagging. Be happy for the progress of others, because in being happy with the progress of others, being a tool in the progress and upliftment of others, you are actually doing yourself far more good than you can ever imagine. Dr. Ojo, over to you.
May I
Right.
say something? I know, Dr. Ojo, I'm being so rude. I'm so
Okay.
excited.
You good, you good,
I
you good, you good.
guess we have
Okay.
all been practicing fogging because me I was sometimes I go through my Instagram, right? And see the old students and the old youth who are now adults and they're doing their thing. So just as how this morning I was scrolling through the Instagram and I see this wonderful dancer that I know named Trey. We know his mother, we know his father, but it just brought me such joy to see the little Trey who I did his first dance with, and now he's a dance teacher with a studio, and and it's just like you said, that delayed thing that the Most High gives us in the end. That also I just want to say even our organization Game Amp started like that in the university. It was kind of like giving back to all the mentors who helped us. And I could say there's so
Yeah.
many phenomenal children or adults now that have surpassed even what we could have been imagined. And they're doing so many great
Yep.
things in New Mexico. But I'm going to send a shout out to you right now, online, on air right now. Y'all, Cetros, y'all go shout out and go look for Yagazi Emezi. Yagazi Emezi. I'm a shout out Yagazi. I gotta give you a shout out because it was to Gay Man Bam Bam and that group of youth that helped her to big herself up as this phenomenal Nigerian princess. I mean, this woman has been. I mean, she can't grew up in New Mexico, the University of New Mexico, through this gay man
Wow.
program to the other students, not through me. Just how it is. You throw them a ball, and the students just make this ball become a flower, and the flower becomes a garden, and the garden becomes a state. So Yagazi Amezi, I hope that y'all. I'll try to forward y'all all her information because she is kind of like that game amper that grew up in this project, and then she is phenomenal even in your country. She is doing big things, big things. She's Nigerian and Malaysian, and she's phenomenal. And she's one of our game amp babies, so she kind of owe us. You know what I mean? So she'll see this video. So beautiful, babe. Thank you, family. Thank you for the encouragement, and thank you for reminding us it's delayed because the Most High always bless us. And it's the delayed stuff, not the instant gratification. Give thanks. Thank you, Dr. Ojo. I'll pass it on. Y'all can see contact section.
Wow.
That's
So,
awesome. That's awesome.
no,
That's awesome.
no, please send the link of this person you just mentioned. Send the link
Yes,
so that we can go through it. Now,
yes.
let me, while we're sharing this experience, now let me give you a shocker. Do you know that we lived in a particular house while I was in the banking sector? And because I was in the HR, I don't know, it's just natural. I was in the HR and we had openings in the bank. They asked us to bring secondary school certificate holders into the banking sector. And I was like, wow. I went, I went overboard with it. I brought in, I brought in, I don't want to know, I can't remember the number of youths that I brought in into the banking sector. Now
Come and see
I want to show
somebody.
you a guy that is very popular now. I brought in and his younger brother.
Did you bring it?
Yes, I brought him and his younger brother. In short, what's it called? They both passed the test. It was to come and resume or what have you, but it was his younger brother that resumed.
Okay.
He did not resume with us.
Okay, come
Now,
and see
let me
him.
show you. I think I need to share my screen. You'll be shocked. The person I want to show you now is a popular musician that is known across the world. I'm not talking of Nigeria. So
Who's
he's a
that? Whiskey?
No?
mayor of
Mayor
Lagos.
of Lagos.
Oh, really?
You don't know him? Do you know him?
Do you know Mayor of Lagos?
I don't know if I know him.
Okay.
But do you know what's his name? Davido.
You know Davido?
Yeah, I know the video, of course.
You
It
know
was
Mayor of
Davido
Lagos now?
that brought Mayor of Lagos up. As in, I've
Okay.
already secured a job for him. It's just for him to come and resume. It was his younger brother that now resumed. He did not resume. I think
Mayor.
that This life is very, very funny. Let me share my screen, please. Just a minute. So when I see the boy performing today, I will just be laughing that thank God that I was when it was in my power to assist this young boy. I did everything I could to assist. And are you guys seeing my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, we see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now look at
Is this the rappers? Is this one of the rapper guys?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
yes, you
God,
know
you're
him.
kidding me. You're kidding me. You had
He
him on
was
the
our
show.
neighbor. Eh?
You said what?
You had him on your
Wow.
show one time and they
He's
did
not
a
on our
live
show. We
stream.
live together.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Let me play these guys to you. As in, we live together. We lived in the same house before.
No sound.
This guy.
There's
This boy,
there's no
this guy.
Mario.
Hey, are you talking about Mayo Kun? I know Mayo Kun.
Yes,
It's
yes,
Mayo.
now.
Why are you calling him Mayo?
That's his name now.
It was an accent.
Oh, okay. I know Mayo Kun now, of course.
I saw this before too
You know
one
his
time.
mom.
I mean, I don't know him. I don't know him as a person, but I know as a musician. He's one of the yeah. He's also trying among the other
Now,
Nigerian artists.
You know he was our neighbor.
The funniest stuff is that the mom and the dad were the landlord. It was both of us that were living upstairs.
Oh
We
my
living
God,
upstairs.
really?
And
Yes.
yes, and when it was time to bring people into the bank, I just walk up to them. I said, "Give me your children's secondary school certificate for result." That the bank has opening now. I collected. Then I went downstairs. Other neighbors, other children in the neighborhood, I collected all their CV and I made
Yeah.
sure that I was there at the interview. For them. I asked them the right question. They gave us the right answer. Pam pam. Employed in a single family. I brought in.
Wow.
Wow.
I brought in two siblings in a single family. At the end of the year, when they were giving them gifts, they were like, they brought, bank now. When they
Yeah.
will give a bag of rice, you see them coming with 2 bags of rice,
Yeah.
2 different stuff. Secondary school owners. So those are the kind of thing that gives us this joy. Now,
Yeah,
when I
It
saw,
doesn't matter whether you see it or not. Or
when I see this
You brought
boy,
him in faster than Amway.
Yeah.
when I see this boy on big screen now and the lights, I'm so happy because when it was my opportunity to show that I care about him, about the family, I showed it. So we might not meet for a long time, but I'm sure that one of these days that we are going to meet, the memory will be there that, oh, this person was there when I was nobody. So
Yeah.
And that's what you do good. That's what you do good. You spot the people. That's what you do really well. You spot the people that are the diamonds in the rough. And you have that motivation and you bring them up. You lift them up.
And you know what's
And
so
you know the funnest. You said what?
I said I didn't want to. I'll let you go. I've been so rude. I'll follow what you say after you say that, Dale. Sorry.
Okay, you know the funnest stuff. One of these days also, we went into the bank to go and conduct a transaction into one of the banks, and lo and behold, I was on queue, only for me to discover a little girl that I helped into the bank about how many years back before I left, is now a business manager. She just walked up to the queue and asked me to leave the queue, collected my check, went and did everything. All the people that were on that queue, they were just looking at, who can this slim guy be? Now I was those are the kind of fulfillment because I
So
see this.
humbled.
I see this happening by the time maybe we are now 90,
No, not
80,
until
100. No, no, I'm talking of by then, uh, owners of captains of industries and the like, they will be coming and be saying, ah, you were the one that made me to get to this position. You're the one that was there for me at this time. So the principle of Fargin comes with reward that might
So
not
that's what we're
be
even teaching the African youth.
instant.
That's why
That might
we're
not be instant, but what we need is patience. What we need is patience, because if you want to go for immediate gratification, what have you, you will not see the need to assist people in your community. And if there is any
Right.
principle that we need to do now, is that principle that gives back to the community, the principle that think about what about those that are, because no matter how poor you think you are, there are still some persons that are of worse situation than yourself.
Just like you did with the Fantastic Four. You planted that seed so early, and they're probably doing great right now. I mean,
Very,
we
very.
haven't had it. We need a Fantastic Four update, guys. I need it. I need it. I mean,
Okay.
they are one of those girls is going to be a Centros speaker someday. One of those
Very,
girls. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is
very
exactly
well.
what Deo's talking. This is what Deo's talking about. You have to be patient, and that is absolutely right. But every time you plant a seed, it may take a little longer to grow. Doesn't matter. You just planted the seed.
Exactly. And
So true.
I was going to add to that too is I love that. I really know that joy, that blessed joy, because um in when we started the organization in 2006, one of the things that we asked the students, you're coming in, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And some of the students said, I want to be a musician. I want to be, because they were freshmen in college. I want to be this. I want to be that. And I'm like, okay, but you know what you can start doing? And then, but they always were really good hearted youth. So part of it was saying, well, you know what? You can start helping the community now before you're a big superstar, before you're a big musician, before you're a big dancer. Now, interestingly enough, some of these youth ended up still using their talents. They were great musicians, great artists, but they are superstars because, and I'll big up one particular, Travis McKenzie in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So multi-talented, so multifaceted, such a big heart. But he gained a reward of being the New Mexico's best teacher of the year back in 2018. And I'm
Whoa.
just saying how he had incorporates the music, the art, the agriculture, the education. I mean, when I say that would be like that, those are those stars. And there's so many other students that we know from the game amp organization that have been like whether directly involved in our organization or like next to, like close to, in proximity to ones who are in our program. I've had students say, oh, Emmanuel, don't you remember me? I used to hang out with those guys at this time with Game Amp, and oh, thank you so much. I've been to Europe, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are, but it's like, who are you? Oh, really? Oh, thank you. Okay, and it's a blessing, and I know that if
no, no,
it's that
no.
way for me a little bit, I know it's 100 and 1,000-fold more with the
Yeah.
Cetros and everything that's happening. So I know, and I thank y'all for just that joy and to be a part of this, because that, like, in the Jewish, in the, all that prayer goes out in the Shemayim. It goes out into heaven. It's that investment that we make, whether it's the Jewish religion, the Sikh religion, Arab, whatever. The doctor's saying universal. It goes back into the ethers and blesses us, whether it's with our family, whether it helps our children in the future. My mom has helped so many people. I've had so many stragglers come into my mom's house, like, oh my gosh, like, mom, can this person stay? Can this person stay? But you know how many people have helped me and my children staying at places, probably because of the things that my mom has given, by my mom being so hospitable. So those things,
Doc,
get back. Thank you guys. Thank you, family.
Dr.
Nubin,
Ojo.
me,
Well,
and
listen,
Jim.
Dr. Ojo. Dr.
Jim,
Ojo was about to say something
Jim.
though.
Okay, before Dr. Ojo talks, Jim and Nubin, me, be careful what you ask for. You asked for this on the Fantastic Four, and Madame Claudia also is asking for the
Oh,
Fantastic.
really? Oh my God!
Oh, so beautiful.
Look, that's a big healthy baby. Oh my God! Yay, Team Zachos!
Oh, look at those beautiful.
Oh my God! There they are. There they are.
How old are they now?
I think there should be about three.
Wow. Awesome.
Hi. Oh
Awesome.
my God, they're
Oh,
darling.
baby.
Oh my God. Look at them.
Hi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, brother.
Oh, this is
Look
this
at
is
John.
truly what.
I
Yeah. What
love
do you
your
call it?
hair.
Look at John.
Is this live? Are they live? Are they live?
Yeah.
Oh my
Are they live?
God! Hey!
Wait, are they live? Or is it recorded?
Oh my God! Hey! Hi guys! Oh my God! This is so awesome! I cannot believe it. You guys, this is truly. This is what did you call it, Deo? What did you call this? Farag? How did you?
Fargin.
Yeah, this is
Fargin.
it right here. This is it. This is truly it right here.
Just been.
Oh,
I can't believe it! Oh my God, they're live! Oh my God! Mwah, mwah,
We love you guys. We love you
mwah.
guys.
Oh, stop.
Look
We
at
Yeah.
love
that.
you guys. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
hi.
Wow.
brother.
There he is. The
Wow.
dude.
The
The
big
dude.
boy.
The dude. Hello.
Of course, he let the lady
Hello.
cry first. Then he did his beautiful entrance. Did you not see his walk entrance down the hall?
Wow.
Red carpet stuff. Yep.
Awesome. 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 That's good.
How
I'm so
beautiful,
glad.
handsome, all this. Oh, hi, family.
So
Oh
be
my God, I
careful.
cannot believe it.
Be careful what you ask for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys made my whole day right there. Thank you so much.
They're so
And
beautiful.
the beautiful thing is that Joanne, the one that he was carrying, that survived several
Yeah.
operations, the lights, and presently is even the most brilliant.
She's the most.
Oh yeah,
She's-
that and I was
He
praying
was
for
so
that, and that's what Dr. Ojo is right.
She was
You
kissing
send
us.
up,
She was
yeah.
kissing, giving us a kiss. Didn't you guys see it? She's like, mwah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what Dr. Ojo was saying about prayers. I was praying heavy at that time. I was praying nightly on those. I was on my heart all day long when I was waking up. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And I was
Right.
like, these people. I was like, I felt it. I felt the energy, man. And that was like a tug, when you get drawn in so hardcore. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, this is what Dr. Ojo says, the universe part.
Right.
That's what he means.
That's your
This
family
is
there. That's your family, Jim. You put a lot of
Yeah.
investment and you
Right.
invest
oh yeah.
heart, energy.
I mean, I'm crying right now. It's powerful.
money.
It's
It is.
powerful.
Look at
It
that,
is.
and look
It's
at the
touching up.
return. And then, like you said, she's gonna be the little one. She's gonna be the speaker. Like, yo, they are too beautiful. But did you see King Man come out like a fashion show? He's like, yes, I'm here. I am here
I
now.
think that would be a great one. I think one of these days, maybe their next birthday, they will do a small fashion display for us.
Yes, because their hair was on point. That
And-
hairdo.
And
their
kudos,
hair.
kudos to their dad. Their
Yes,
dad is,
Dad.
I'm telling you, Big Poppy got it going on.
their dad is really trying. He's really trying. I just
Yes.
give it to him. He's trying.
Yeah, that just made my whole week. I mean, that was awesome.
And big up to the community that's helping Big Papa. You know what I'm saying? The whole community.
Yeah, let's do another fundraiser. Let's do another fundraiser for him. Let's do it. Let's do a fundraiser.
A fashion show birthday party. Fundraiser.
Yeah, we'll show them off and get the photographers over
Foundation.
there. We'll do the Fantastic Four fashion show.
Fantastic Four fashion fundraiser.
Yeah.
We should do it. Why not?
You said,
Hey,
Dr.
I,
Joe,
who's
What
gonna
is that?
second that? Who's gonna? I think Ojo second that. Dr. Ojo second that. I think that
I
was
said, I mean, we could do it. There's no problem about that.
yes.
I mean, it's something, it's something
Fantastic
good.
That would be
for
so
fashion
darling.
fundraiser.
Nigeria
That's
should
Hmm.
even a
that's
school
Okay.
it.
in Nigeria should give them scholarship.
Okay.
As in,
Okay.
what would even advocate is that if we have anybody that knows any school
Any school
owner
owner
in Nigeria
that can give
that
the
can give them scholarship, because before their dad will pay for their school fees, four of them. I don't know how Nigerians, as in, I just pray God will help us to have more people of this good heart. So that has been our mindset, because the school fees here is another thing. It's crazy.
skilling,
It's
skilling.
killing.
Yeah.
So if we can have a school owner or anyone that can just sponsor their education, because it's going to really be much on their dad for paying for
Yes.
four, and he's the only one. So that's what we're even
So if you are there, you know any
any school
schooling owner,
owner.
any school owner in Nigeria that might be willing to assist us, give the Fantastic
Fantastic
Four
for
scholarship.
they lost their mom
That would,
Please. Yeah.
as
that would be
birth, so it's only
Yeah.
their dad, and it was a
Yeah,
painful
let's
one. Check
manifest
out
this.
their
Let's
story.
manifest this. That's right, right, Dr. Ojo? We're
Yeah, of course,
manifesting, right?
of course, of course, of
so
course.
if you are able to do that for us, we'll really be glad. At least let there be a relief on that
What
man.
area are they living at?
Um, right, towards Badagry,
Okay.
towards Badagry, because he had to move them to uh his mom's place now. You know, he needs the mother
Right.
and the
Somebody to be there
to be
for to
taking
help
care of
out.
the children while he goes
Right.
to work. So
Right.
it has been something distinct. Okay. So with that being said, we want to bring today's discussion to a close. You can see the joy, the emotions. I'm sure Jim is trying to get bucket of water to clean up his eyes
Like your
and
own, and
pretend
you
as if
too.
he's not crying. Me, I'm not crying. It's just that water is just falling from my eyes. So
It's
we
allergies.
Chukudi,
Jim
uh,
Chukudi, Dr. Joe,
Dr. Joe, we have anointed Jim. We gave him his African name. Last week is Chukudi Jim Nwobodo.
That's why he tried to be. That's why Jim tried to be Chakudi X today. That's why. No, Jim, we're not
Chukwudi.
going
That's a
there
good name.
today, Jim. We're not going
Did you
there.
tell him the meaning of
Had
Chukwudi?
a
What's the meaning of
rumble.
Chukwudi?
Jim, that conversation stays on Rumble. Okay.
We told you that you
Let's
should
get
find
your
out the
Rumble
meaning of
chat. Let's
Chukudi.
get your.
At
Oh,
Let's
least
okay. He has
get
to
him on
find it out.
Rumble.
he has to
Let
find out.
Jim.
At
Let
least it
him
has
host.
God
Let him host the
making.
Rumble.
So
That's good.
with that being said, we want to appreciate everyone, and we'll be giving our closing remarks now on Fargin, the special word that means forgetting about yourself for the meantime. Look at what you can do to the next person around you in your community. We at the Citrus Foundation, we've been doing this in what's it called, in collaboration with some beautiful minds, people that you are
like you are
seeing
seeing
live
now.
here, and so many others that are not online now. We've been doing that, paying attention to our community, trying to assist the less privileged. The video of the fashion show that you saw was part of what we did even before we had the foundation, and several other things we've done. Is just a mindset that we have, that we are for the masses, to help the masses, to bring out the best out of them. And as a foundation, we've been going to places to pick up youths with what's it called, numerous craftsmanship drive, and we've been training them. Okay, so we are so glad. And just for your information, based on the fact that we've been so busy, we can let's clap for ourselves, because last 2 weeks we got another boy out off the street. We got another boy off the street. um what's it called, is now being trained as an engineer, a metallic engineer. I don't want to promise video over and over. Once I'm done with the video, you will see the full video of the young chap that is being trained as
Started his training. You've shown
he
him before
started,
now.
yeah, he started his training. He
Last
quit his job. He has resumed at the
factory job.
resumed at the training space, and when he sent me the video of what he was doing, you know what, let me, while somebody just give us your wrap up, let me pick up the video because it's an encouragement to us to also see what we have been doing, because when I saw that video I was so happy. And one other guy that we also picked from the street, one other guy that we also picked from the street is also developing fastly in his area. I will share that later. But let me show us the video of this young one that has just gotten something, a meaningful life for himself. Okay, let's start from who will go first to wrap up.
Did we read all that Madam Claudia posted?
So I just want to say,
Anaconda, it's
She's been
time to
posting a
speak.
lot of stuff.
Okay. Lots of respect to the centros, and may the Almighty continue. Amen. Yes, I've been
Okay, so yes, bring them live.
okay. Okay, Madam Kola said I should bring them live. Okay, I'm going to bring the video live now. Okay,
Bring the Fantastic Four live.
live.
oh,
Oh, they might not be able to stay this late. You know, they are children.
And their dad doesn't because of his work.
it's
So-
midnight. It's midnight. Right?
It's midnight. Yeah, this is this is what am I-
9 minutes to 1
1
a.m.
Ooh, party time, etc. Okay. My
So-
last comment is I'm
Okay.
supporting the foreign, even though I got a foreign. Don't make it foreign. It ain't foreign to us as Africans. So let's just make it far for the kin, for the common unity building. That's a new BME off the dome. Thank you, family. Now I'm gonna go home.
Wow.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, who is going next?
Well, obviously, we're going to save Dr. Ojo for last because he's the best. So I'm going next. You know what I want to say today? I want to say this is the best live stream that you've ever done. I want to think,
Wow.
yeah, I want to say that I felt so good listening to what something I really didn't understand and got an understanding of it that I didn't know because, you know, Dr. Ojo puts it in a way, you know, when you speak universe and, and funny, weird. I heard today somebody said, like songs are made in structures and in songs they have what they call verses and the word uni and verse. So I mean one song. I thought that was interesting because I picked up on that earlier today. And when he said universe, and I heard that earlier, I was like, wow, we really are just frequency or energy. We're light. We're trying to manifest each other to the highest. We're always trying to give the most love we can to each other. And that's what this show was great. I really think this was your best live stream show ever. And it was vibrant. We got to get our groove on. Everybody said their piece. I just thank you guys so much for what you do, and I'm so honored. And with that said, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Ojo and Deo and Choke and Nubimi. You guys are just wonderful people to be around, and like-mindedness is a good thing because that is what you were speaking of today. We're trying to help and build upon something, and you don't get to do it, looking at governments. You don't get to do it that way. You get to do it from a perspective where you say to yourself, I want this, and I want it now, and nothing's stopping me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow. Jim.
Be the change you want to see. Yes.
Jim Nwobodo.
Jim Chukudi.
Jim Chukudi there. Thanks for that. And okay, Dr. Ojo, Please hold on.
Yeah.
I want you to talk after this screen. So sorry about that. I want you to just see the boy that was picked up the streets. Just a little share. Can you see this? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the boy there.
That's beautiful work.
Oh, is it weather?
Yes.
Wow.
He left his factory work to start this because the boss said he can't be working at the factory and be doing this. That this their work is really demanding. So that was why it took him lots of time before he decided. He had to burn the breed behind him, and it was really a great word.
I tell you, is fantastic. And as luck would have it, the because it was painful. I was asking the boy, how will you survive if you now stop working at the factory to concentrate on this? But luckily enough, the trainer offered to be giving this boy
Some
some
stipend
stipend
every
every
week
weekend,
to take care of.
to take care of himself. And I'm just so glad that God could just work miracles for
And
this young boy.
he went by faith, right, Cetros? Right, Dale? It was by faith he quit the job. And the
Yeah.
moment
Yes,
a paid internship, people, he literally got a paid internship. He's working and getting paid.
And
yes.
doesn't that show value? Doesn't that? That's the most important thing. Doesn't this show value, Dr. Ojo? Doesn't this
Yeah,
show
yes.
what? Doesn't this show what value means? And like, and our way that we live our life, we're not living our lives around this value system.
Hmm, hmm. So great. So Dr. Ojo,
But we're changing, Jim. This system is changing, and that's why we have these technologies and this media to share the good news and to share the encouragement. So, yeah, I thank you, Cetros. I thank you, Cetros Foundation. I thank the future youth. And this welding job is phenomenal. I mean, welding is such a dying gift, even here in North America. It's like,
Oh yeah, and a welder in America makes about $140 an hour.
wow,
tell it, Jim, tell it. Maybe we can get an
wow,
internship out
Yeah,
here.
Listen, you guys,
it's a very, very
it's
lucrative job.
very expensive.
wow,
It
wow.
takes and by the way, you have to be licensed
Hmm,
to be a welder in the state of California. So think
wow.
about this. So you're monopolizing, in a sense, a trade by government sanctioning. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Some people look at this in a weird way. I think that the government actually controls trades. Actual trades. So I had to bring that up at the end there. I'm
Well,
sorry to do
of
that,
course,
but
because you know what,
Okay.
Jim, I really appreciate that because you and I both know that the IMF did that. They gave money, but certain monies were put away for certain things with education and trade, and and that's what we're dealing with right now. This residual of the
yep,
IMF. I'm
yep.
not sure what the F stands for, but the IMF system. You know what I'm saying? Because they did do a number. They fudged up a lot of countries on those loans that did not provide skills development, agriculture, uh, just this whole infrastructure. So yes, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Let's let Dr. Ocho speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you guys. It's a very wonderful uh, live stream today. And I do hope that all the listeners and all those that will listen to this eventually will actually gain something to learn from it. Fargin, the topic we discussed, just simply means to be wholeheartedly appreciative of someone else's success. And like I said earlier, it is the way the universe works is, you attract what you sow, what you plant, what you give. So if you demonstrate happiness and joy, and you rejoice with others, you're gonna just attract that. You're just gonna, experience that, and that's also gonna be, your own situation as well. So, for African family and parents, I think it's high time that Everybody just wake up and begin to research all those fundamental principles that has worked in the past for our ancestors, and those that have been practiced by other people around the globe that are working, that are really fundamental principle that is in alignment with the principle that govern the universe. That is how we can break loose of those chains of poverty, hardship, and all of stuff that they are suffering from. That's how to break loose of it. And like we rightly said, right, we do not have to follow the powerful. By following them, I'm not saying we should rebel or start fighting them. No. Mentally, spiritually, we can break loose of any chain once we gain that level of awareness. Once we get that level of awareness and we step up our level of intelligence, we can break loose. So yeah, that's the one thing I want everybody to know, that it doesn't mean that because some people are great, they are wealthy, and then the whole world has to bow to them and stuff like that. No, we don't have to. We can actually put some principle into use, and the universe is just going to lift us up as well. Because from my findings, I know that the billions of people on the earth can be a billionaire at the same time, and it's not going to affect the universe. It's not going to affect the universe. The universe is not going to feel it. So why just putting ourselves in a cage and just putting ourselves in a condition that we just have to, be underneath of certain people forever? No. So it's high time that individually, as a family, as a nation, as a country, especially Africa, needs to start thinking with their head and needs to start focusing on developing one another, bringing up one another, lifting up one another, practicing this principle of Fargin, celebrating each other's success, promoting each other's idea. That is how we can make the world a better place. And when we start doing that, there is just going to be a lot of joy around. So thanks to the Cetros family and foundation for the great job they are doing. And for the listeners and those that will come across this video whenever, if you are not challenged and motivated to support a foundation like this that is spending their time, resources, and everything just to help the poor for no expectation of anything back in return, then I don't know what else you want to do with your life. I think how you want to support a good mission, right? I want to support a good initiative. I want to support somebody, that take care of the poor, the neglected. I will do that. That's why I'm here, and I'm
And you
encouraging
put your
every other
name on
person.
and you put your name on the line and your reputation on the line,
Right.
because you're the signature of the Cetros Foundation.
Yeah.
Can
So it's a good thing to do. I think it's a good thing to do, to bring people out of poverty, to help those that are neglected, those that are poor. And that's why we are here on earth. That's why God has blessed us. So it's a
Yes,
challenge, and I'm challenging other people that will listen to this video eventually, that we should be encouraged to do the same in our community. We should be encouraged to help Cetros Foundation by $1, $5, $10, whatever amount. Even if it's not monetary, if it's the gift, if it's the skill, the training, we can train people like across the globe online. Like it's so possible. We're in the hybrid society now, right? So there's a lot of things that could be done to empower those youths that are neglected and poor. And I know we could do it. So I want to thank everybody. I want to appreciate everyone on this live stream. And I still remain my humble self, Dr. Ojo. Thank you, and have a good evening.
may I big up 3 times, 4 times? Claudia, our sister. Yeah, my other phone is on another room. I couldn't text her, but big smooches and love for she was, that's, what I'm saying, the day one. Madam Claudia is a day one. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say big up to the day oneers. You know what I'm saying? Because we are one. Thank you, Dr. Ojo, for your gifts, talents, your leadership, and where the Most High has placed you. And we look forward, we just are humbled. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Setro. Thank you, Setro Youth. And Jim, thank you for being
Thank you, Mr. Jim. Thank you.
a
Thank
good
you, Madam Claudia and Nibi.
Please,
Thank
point of correction. It's not Jim.
It's
Yeah,
Oh,
Jim.
it's
Chukwudi.
Chukudi.
Chibuli.
Only Chukudi. It's not Chukudi.
I hope it translates to coach.
What's your name again, Mr. Jim?
his new
Chabuli.
African.
It's not
What's
Chukudi.
your Nigerian name?
Wait, say it again. You gotta tell me one more time.
Chukwudi.
Chukudi. It's not
Chukudi.
Chukudi.
Chukudi. See, I knew they would
Chukudi.
laugh at me.
It sounds like
Terrible.
Chukudi, but it's Chukudi.
Chukudi.
Ah,
Chukudi.
Almost there. You're almost there.
Okay, from all of us here, don't mind that black African man masquerading as a white guy.
Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Okay, Madam Clara.
He's playing his role. He brings the spicy conversations.
I want to say thank you so very much because we always look forward to every Sunday.
Me too.
It's been interesting. This is one of the greatest moments that we get to meet with a community. Let me tell you, when you are talking of the concept of community, it's not a physical community. Community has now moved to space. Community can be on your laptop, on your phone. Look at how we are coming together to say, oh, the Fantastic Four needs education. Let's see who can give that and other stuff. That's a community. And that is the principle of Fargin that we are talking about. I want to say to all of you Africans that are still with the archaic mindset of contributing money to celebrate the dead. Please stop that. It's a waste of money. Spend the money on those that are alive so that they can manufacture products that can be standardized and be exportable across the globe. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so very much. And because I need to attend to my beautiful wife, if you will not know what that means, then you're a Christian. So take good care of yourself while I see to this business.
All right, well, that's a good business.
He's an indigent but diligent.
It's a very wonderful business. Enjoy it. We wish you the very best. See you again soon. All right, bye guys. Love you all.
May Yeshua keep blessing you. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.